Ja I am, here to bring you another episode with a message your soul needs to hear. Now, what do Google, Meta, formerly known as Facebook, TikTok, and X all have in common, besides being social media conglomerates? Short answer is, these are some of the most richest companies in the world because of one reason. They have mastered the art of gaining and keeping your attention. So yes, that makes your attention the single-handed most expensive asset on the planet. With these companies, two of them's market cap over $1 trillion and the other two well in the billions, constantly fighting and competing for your attention. They clearly understand the value of your attention. Do you? If you answered yes to that question, can you back up that claim? The purpose of this episode is to present a case to motivate you to regain the real estate of your attention that's been cleverly robbed from you without any breaking or entering. On the last episode, we mentioned attention follows where intention goes, and energy flows where attention follows. Watch that episode by clicking the top right-hand corner if you haven't already done so you can have the correct sequence of importance. All right, now let's take a look at the next super important building block to manifesting the life you want and deserve. Attention. Attention originated from the Latin word attentio, deriving from the verb attendere, meaning to give heed or to spread towards. The word evolved from the idea of actively directing one's mind and energy towards something. Now understand, at the fundamental level, attention flashes awareness on whatever you shine attention on. And with awareness comes focus. And with focus comes sustainability to positively impact and alter your energy field around you. Now, these massively successful companies and many others are well aware what you focus on expands. And they rather that expansion be their profits over your welfare and your advancement in your life. And since attention turns on the focus lens, they make sure to be ever so consistent at keeping your attention to what is most lucrative for them without your permission. Now, Infinite Mentor is here to remind you to rightfully gain what is rightfully yours. Knowing that in modern day, there is one currency, and that is your attention. It's the universal currency. So make sure you're getting rich off of it. Otherwise, I guarantee someone else will. Because again, your attention is the universal currency, and how you manage it will determine on how rich you get. And this goes way beyond just monetary riches. You can extrapolate this to all areas of your life. And a real quick shout out to Nero from Neuro Knowledge YouTube channel for inspiring me to incorporate the word extrapolate into my repertoire vocabulary collection. Not to go off topic, but, and you know what's happening next, I'm going off topic. Because anytime someone segues with that word but, which is an acronym for behold, underlying truth, you should automatically cancel out everything that's stated in that statement leading to the word but, and pay close attention, the star of the show, to everything that's being stated after the word but, because that is the underlying truth. Now that I'm completely off topic, what was I, Infinite Mentor, talking about again? Completely lost my train of thought. Well, when all else fails, I shall go to my go-to line. I said all of that to say this. Oh, there we go. Got it right back. So pick it right back up where I left off. This goes to show that the knowledge is with the people. So therefore, on this channel, I shall intentionally share with you the sources, people, and resources that have added value to my life, giving you access to where Infinite Mentor accesses Infinite Mentorship. So hopefully it can add value to your life as well. Now, back to the message. It is your sole responsibility to be very attentive at guarding your attention at all times. Make sure what you have your attention on benefits you over the opposition. And please pay close attention to this. You want to pay your attention with the most amount of attention, understanding that it is the payment that yields the most amount of residual ROI. And the dark forces are well aware of this truth. So therefore, they have placed traps all over the place, strategically designed to separate you from your attention. These traps I call design distractions, because that's exactly what they are. Some of these design distractions are very obvious, and others are better disguised. There is an endless list of design distractions. However, majority of them can be categorized into one word, and that word is entertainment, originating from the old French word entertainer, meaning to hold together, referring to the host role to keep the guest happy and occupied. The word eventually evolved to cover a broader meaning, which is to provide amusement and diversion of attention. Simply put, entertainment puts your attention into containment for the host's benefit, not yours. And since you can only have your attention dominantly on one thing at a time, when your attention is held hostage in containment by entertainment, it is not free to work on self-development. It is not free to work on spiritual growth, mental growth, physical growth, financial growth, etc., etc. The average person fall into this design distraction trap 7 to 9 hours a day, or 49 hours a week, or 2,548 hours a year. Entertainment is a powerful, addictive drug that rarely gets talked about. And for some of us, that drug is watching movies and shows, Netflix action, right? For others, it's watching cat videos or doing mind-numbing scrolling on social media. For others, it's playing video games. For me, for a long time, my heroin needle was sports, specifically basketball and football. I used to know the stats of every single player, but I had no idea on the proper nourishment eating lifestyle to provide and accomplish the best health. I used to know the records of franchise teams that existed way before I was born, but I had no clue on how to invest and generate passive income. My friends, this is the results of having your attention into containment by entertainment. Now, please don't misunderstand my message. The answer is in the balance. And I certainly said all of that to say this: all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So it is suggested and recommended to balance decompressing from work with some entertainment. The problem is, unfortunately, for the average person, we are overdosing on the entertainment drug. Real quick, on a quick side note, major shout out to EAGLES, Eagles. My dyslexia almost made me spell Eagles wrong. I was gonna put the A before the E. But nonetheless, I've been a die-hard, no Bruce Willis, Eagles fan since I came fresh off the boat from Sierra Leone, West Africa back in 1990. So I'm so happy to see them take the Super Bowl home again, once again. But I can see some of you all's wheels turning, wondering like, how old is Infinite Mentor? Well, I will not be addressing that on this particular video. So moving right along. The idea here is to focus on a healthier balance in directing your attention. Understanding where you direct your attention is where energy concentrates for you to easily manifest. And clearly, when your attention is more on certain things, entertainment specifically, when it's captivated by entertainment, you're making these athletes, celebrities, influencers, etc., millionaires, and is leaving less attention for you to make yourself a millionaire. So in my case, when I identified that my drug was football and basketball, I made the necessary adjustments. I started out by choosing between the two sports. And since I liked football over basketball, I went ahead and eliminated the watch time for basketball. And then eventually I advanced to where I'm currently at, which is for the most part, just watching my Eagles play. Completely gaining back a lot of time, freed up from the entertainment trap that I can now use to build my empire. So I trust that you have the ability to go ahead and make the necessary modifications in your life where you best feel fit. But start by cutting back on the entertainment and other design distraction traps and watch your life change. Now, we already touched on the fact that majority of the design distractions fall under the entertainment trap. Now we're gonna look at some of the less obvious design distractions, starting with people. No matter how close they are to you, can be design distractions. You know those people that are not going anywhere in life where you want to go, and they are so good at making sure you don't go and get to where you want to go as well. Those people that for the most part bring nothing but negativity, gossip, and drama into your life. Now, make no mistake about it, it can be as subtle as these people influencing you to partake in certain activities that do not align with your higher purpose, that do not align with you accomplishing and reaching your goals and aspirations. It goes without saying, these people here should be given less and less of your attention if you want to position yourself best to reach your goal and aspirations. Now, the next less obvious design distraction is your job or career. Now, let's be frank and let's keep it real. Majority of us are not built to be entrepreneurs. And for that reason, there will forever be way more employees than they are employers. But do not let anyone ever belittle you or make you feel inferior because you have a 9 to 5. As a matter of fact, in the times that we're in, you have a lot of people that are both an employer and an employee. I'm one of them. But the idea here is, as long as what you're doing at your job, with your career, aligns with you and efficiently generates the income you deserve, you should not only embrace it fully, but you should express elaborate gratitude for it. So clearly, what we're talking about here in reference to jobs and careers that are designed distractions are these jobs and careers that beat you down day in and day out. And when it comes a time for payday, you barely have enough to meet your financial obligations. We're talking about these jobs and careers that make you feel like you just stepped out of the ring with George Foreman in his prime and you're no Ali. And when payday comes, you don't even have enough to cover the medical expenses from that beatdown. If you finding yourself in these type of jobs or career, I suggest and recommend that you immediately work on breaking free ASAP. And that freedom starts with you cultivating your spirit and then your mind. And then you'll find it that the physical world will follow through, will completely mirror that spiritual plane, mental plane. And if you struggle with this, it's totally okay. Just stay tuned to this channel and I shall continuously provide you the tools and strategies to break free for good. Now, the next and final design distraction that's less obvious that I like to talk about is a design distraction that is most prevalent in today's time. And that is keeping up with the Joneses. Now, back in the day, when you go out in your neighborhood, you find someone buy a new truck. You go out and buy a new truck, even though that may not have aligned with you. Now, the next day, you go back out and you find that that very same neighbor bought a new boat, probably because they saw you bought a new truck that's nicer than theirs. So you go out and buy a new boat, even though you're terrified and frightened of the water. Now, fast forward to present day, where you're not required to go out for that war. The neighborhood is now social media. And this is a neighborhood like we've never seen before, where everything is perfect. You're watching people that you make way more money than go out and have meals you can't afford, go to vacations you can't even dream of, and wear garments you can't even pronounce. And the tragedy of all of it is you're watching them thinking, my, must be nice, they're living their best life. When in reality, they are more miserable than you are because they are caught in that trap of constantly chasing an image instead of an experience. The only person that wins from that scenario are these big corporations that profit off of the excessive materialism. All for the pursuit for people to impress people that are probably not even paying attention because they're paying attention on building their empire. Here again, the answer is in the balance. There's absolutely nothing wrong with flossing and having nice things. The problem lies when it is excessive and doesn't align with you, or when it's done for all the wrong reasons. Being from the East Coast, we invented flossing and flexing. And as you can see, it's still stuck with me. So the key takeaway here is to do it for you when it makes financial sense. Do not fall into the hood rich trap and take $300 out of your rent money to buy some J's. Now everybody's complimenting you and you are super fresh, but you're now back at staying at your mama's basement. Remember, when you keep up with the Joneses, you lose yourself. You cannot keep up with the Joneses and keep up with yourself as well. So channel that attention to where it best serves you and not someone else. And be intentional and focused at paying attention to where and what you put your attention on. Understanding that if it's not enriching your life, by default, it is enriching someone else's life. I want to make it a point to encourage you to simplify your life, to attracting everything you possibly want and more. Massive success by simply putting in the work to building strong beliefs, intentions, and attention. The Holy Grail trifecta that will put you in position to manifest all that you want and desire. I'm glad you stuck all the way to the end of the video. And until the next episode, I want to wish you love, peace, and above. And I am, and you are, and together we'll shine brighter than a star.